Yeah, welcome back to Trailheads.
I hope you got your muskets loaded because we're on our way to the McDowell Battlefield. We're going to hit up the museum first, and then there's a hiking trail on the battlefield itself. Stay tuned. Snoot loaded. You ready? 10 sniffs per second. Go. This is the cute little town of Monterey, Virginia. We just got to go through it to get to where we're going.
Saw you paint a picture of a face, I wasn't even.
We got here a little bit early. The museum doesn't open for another hour, but we're here at the Sugar Tree Country Store, and it really gives you that old hometown feel.
But it's so hard to move on. You haven't changed, you stayed the same. But if you did, I'd still love you anyway. I'd give you the world like I promised I would. Even though you wouldn't do the same. I'd give you the world like I promised I would. Even though you wouldn't do the same. Had this conversation more than 10 times. After 9, I still wish you were mine.
This is the Felix Hull House. It was built around 1855. It was used as a headquarters by both the Union and the Confederates.
6 a.m. Wrote 5 songs all just for you. 3 of them I can't bear listening to.
I love the smell of cow patties in the morning.
I'd give you the world like I promised I would. Even though you wouldn't do the same. I'd give you the world like I promised I would. Even though you wouldn't do the same.
Howland County Museum room, and it features exhibits about Howland County itself. And over here we have the exhibit on the movie called Tolerable David, which was made in Howland County back in 1921. So last year was its 100th anniversary.
Wow.
So, and I can play that for you too if you want to take. And then
Wow.
and this is since we had the Battle of McDowell here in 1862, this is the Shenandoah Valley Battlefields Foundation helped to put up this exhibit. And so this is all about the Battle of McDowell and period around the Civil War.
Very professional done.
This exhibit here is some kind of reflection of life in Howland County during the 1800s. And so what you'll see here, some of the families that were living in the area. And then you'll also see some of the things that those families used. All of that's only changed. We just changed this exhibit. And this one is, will probably be up for about a year. Uncounted during the 1800s. You'll see names like Folks. Hebner's another name that's quite prominent. And Puffenbarger. You'll see one of my neighbors is a Puffenbarger. Okay? All right. This is a supply of materials that a lot of people are interested in. And so some of these are local histories and some of them are more general histories of the Civil War era. Ireland's Historical Society, but one of the things that Sarah did was a collection of what are called invalid feeders. So you think back to the 1800s, early 1900s, when folks were in nursing homes or in the hospital and they had difficulty eating, drinking, then they took advantage of these invalid feeders, which is kind of unique. I mean, this is the way people were fed a lot with these because they had such trouble, eating, taking nourishment.
We're here at the trailhead. All right. Here's a little footbridge. That's what you want to call it. We got the blue blazes. No metal detectors because there's still maybe artifacts from the Civil War on this trail. Not a bad little parking lot. Clean. Looks new, well maintained. Nice trailhead with some information posts on the sides. And right now it's raining, but when has that ever stopped us before? Although Sam is really not liking it. He doesn't like the rain at all. So he's being a little drama queen about it. Maybe I need to get him a little raincoat or something. Man, it's crazy to think that soldiers marched all this way. It's absolutely insane that they walked that far with horrible footwear and sometimes no footwear. But when have they ever cared about the infantry? This is very nice. The guy at the country store said it was a bush hog trail, and sure enough, it's pretty well maintained. And we just passed a truck down there. That truck has the historical markings on the side. They maintain the trail, and they're fixing a sign down there right now. I knew from research that this was going to be a steep hike, but it's only 1.3 miles to the top. But seriously, could you imagine hauling cannons and muskets, all that stuff up this hill? I really don't know how they did it. And all they had to eat was hardtack biscuits, really? I don't know, man. Something else. Holy crap, look at this vine. Woo! You could probably climb up this thing. I don't know how sturdy it is, though. This is some really interesting looking fungus. I have no clue what this is, but it's messy. Yuck. You don't want to get soaked in rain? Well, here, put on this poncho and get soaked in sweat instead. That's your only two choices. Sheesh. Alright, here's the battle that was fought on this hill. So here we got some red lines and stuff and arrows. Here we got some blue lines and arrows. So if you know what that means, good for you. Now these are Union troops, Union troop movements, and Confederate. There's Stonewall Jackson. and Schneck, whoever that guy was. And what a relief, we have a little bit of downhill right now. But just looking around, man, I can just see the rebels coming through the trees, going crazy, blowing up everything. Trees exploding, cannons firing. Okay, don't get too excited. Don't get too excited because they lost the war. I'll spoil it for you. And the fact that this is a protected site means the trees are absolutely beautiful. They're big. You don't see any logging here. I love that. It says you were looking at the Confederate right flank in this area. And man, this brings back some memories of Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and going on field training exercises in the woods. How hot and miserable it was. Ugh. I really feel for these guys wearing wool uniforms and hats. It's crazy. You know what would really give this place more of a touristy appeal? If they could make some replica trenches with like bunkhouses and, you know, old oil lanterns and whatnot that people can actually stay in, spend the night. That would be so cool. And then have like gun emplacements. A position almost impregnable if defended with reasonable skill and courage. Private Hayes, 32nd Ohio Company. Could it be? Is this the top? No, it's not the top. And according to this sign, you can go two different ways, and they're both about a quarter mile. All right, there's trails in all different directions. This way, this way, this way, and that way. But only this one is marked, so we're gonna go that way first. Love the way the wood smells when it rains. You know, and this is a really steep trail, so there's not gonna be a lot of trash up here because there's not gonna be a lot of people up here. And I'm okay with that, yeah. Oh yeah. Well, even though it says it's the end of the trail, there's still room to run around back here. It's pretty nice. Being at the top, heard something moving in the woods over here. Oh, it's a blue jay. Or a gray jay. A gray jay. How appropriate. It's a Confederate jay. Got a nice picnic table up here at the top. Perfect. And you know, this area over here that I was just at, that would be perfect for them to bring some digging equipment up here and dig some trenches and dig back into the hill, make little bunkhouses where people can spend the night. I mean, obviously it wouldn't be historically accurate, but it'd be pretty awesome. Well guys, it was a pretty interesting hike. I didn't want to bore you by reading every word on every sign, but I would highly recommend coming to this trail. It's really pretty. And once you get up here, you can see for miles, although right now it's kind of overcast and rainy, but you can still see a pretty good distance. So anyways, here's to the boys in blue. They didn't win this battle, but they fought on and won the war. Wet dog. You know, I think one of the reasons why relic hunting is prohibited here is because, I mean, think about it. They might have done a lot of battlefield burials, so they don't want people digging that up. But they dig up Indian burial grounds all the time. Don't get me started on that. Well, here's a little information for you guys. for about knives in Virginia. If you have a blade that's longer than 3 inches, you cannot conceal it. This is a CRKT, and I really like it. Also, double-edged blades are illegal in Virginia, so keep that in mind when you guys are out hiking. I mean, if you have a machete, if I brought my machete, I would just attach it to the outside of my rut. But yeah, you guys got to be mindful of that in case you run into a park ranger. They might have a wild hair and decide to mess with you, especially on little stuff like that. Me personally, I think you should be able to carry whatever you want. Knives, guns, anything. I'm pro let people do what they want to do, as long as it doesn't hurt themselves or others. So we're walking down. Thankfully, from here back to the car is all downhill. We're gonna go to this other little point that the sign showed us earlier, and then we're gonna head back to the car because, ta-da, this video is gonna be a double feature. Anyways, we're going to the Buckhorn Tavern, which is east of here. And I've heard that it used to be a Civil War hospital, or it served as a hospital during the Civil War, so we're gonna go see that as well. Come on, Sam. And service is extremely spotty out here. I don't have hardly any bars. The only thing I wanted to do was check the weather, and I finally got enough bars to check the weather. And it says the rain is just gonna get more intense as the day progresses. So unfortunately, there will be no drone shots in this video, which really sucks because this is an absolutely beautiful area. And I'm sure if I did a orbit of the hilltop, it would just be absolutely epic. Maybe on another trip. There's another hiking trail up here somewhere. I saw it on the brochure, so we might come back up this way. Well, the sprinkling let up just enough to launch the drone, so I'm kind of happy about that. Still low visibility, but hey, can't complain too much, right? Sam, there's my purple dog. Okay, you guys are not gonna believe this, but I carried this 12-ounce orange juice all the way up that hill, and now I'm taking the empty bottle back to throw it away. How crazy is that? got my wish, guys. I found some Confederate trenches, nicely preserved. This is a nice little half-mile loop on the top of a mountain, and you can hike it and see the trenches in the area of what used to be a fort. They defended this valley so to try to slow the Union troops advance towards Stanton. So that's where I was just a second ago. So these are trenches, and it goes all the way up the hill. Can't see it through the trees. So the trail comes up, and I'm pretty sure this is another line of trenches, because that's not the trail. This is the trail where Sam's at. Breastworks. Yeah, I know, I was disappointed too. Not what I thought it was going to be. So I think this was another trench line right here. This is pretty cool. The trail pretty much parallels the trenches. Okay, well, the trenches aren't really much to look at, but that's to be expected. They're 160 years old now. But I was kind of hoping that there would be more ruins of the fort that we could see, but it's okay. It's still a pretty cool little roadside stop. Just making a quick pit stop here at Braley's Pond. The Buckhorn Tavern is not open yet. They close between 2 and 5. So we got about an hour before they open back up. And this pond's got a little trail around it. Here fishing, and unfortunately a lot of trash on the trail too. Ta-da! That was a quickie. Some people camping right next to the parking lot. It's pretty nice and convenient.
Go in there. That's the historical Stonewall Jackson room.
Oh, this is where he stayed?
Yeah.
Wow. Is that his TV?
Nope.
Buckhorn Inn and Tavern is actually, it was built in 1811, which is absolutely mind-blowing to me. And I've heard that it was used as a hospital during the Civil War, and I can see that. It's got huge rooms and it's really nice. And the guy that was telling me upstairs is Stonewall Jackson's room that he stayed in. Well guys, today has been awesome and tiring, so we're gonna go home. And if you guys have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them about some of the places that we went. There's a lot of history and a lot to talk about, so I didn't want to cover everything on the video because I think that'd be kind of boring. But until next time guys, take nothing but photos and leave nothing but footprints. Trailheads out. Well, this is kind of disturbing. So yeah, that's a deer. There's the spine over there. I mean, this doesn't look like something a person would do, right? I don't know. What the heck? It's pretty nasty.